Stamping friends, it's Marilyn Wagner here at Stamping Creations with Marilyn, coming to you on this Thursday evening from Spruce Grove, Alberta, Canada. So I'd like to welcome everyone. Whether you've joined me before or joining me for a first time, you're always welcome here. I'd also like to thank you to please share my video after it's finished. I really appreciate that because it gets the community bigger, and we share and enjoy crafting and creating together, mainly with cards, but there are a few other things. I have one other sample to show you tonight even of things that I've done. So while you're coming on, hello Pam, I see your name. Thank you. I must be in the right spot. I would like to ask you to tell me where you're coming from, where you're watching from. And if you saw my post earlier today on this page, you saw that today is Vegetable Day. I did ask for some recipes on vegetables. I struggle to get away from just doing, the carrots, the peas, those kind of things. So what are your favorite vegetables? Tell me that while you're waiting for me to actually get to crafting. I don't have a lot of recipes for different vegetables. I do try some green ones, and I have I have a hubby and a few grandsons and a son that tell me those are green, I'm not eating those. But I personally like salads, and especially like them if somebody else makes them. So now that things are opening up a little bit more for going out to eat, maybe, just maybe, I can get back to going out and having a salad once in a while. So that's what I'd like to hear from you today. For everyone who does comment or share my video, or I would like to offer, put your name in the comments, and I do pick from those to make for a winner for the card that I made last week. Duh, I have it sitting right here and I can't think of what to call it. So I will spin the wheel at the end for that. And also tonight I am featuring Forever Fern stamp set, which has been out for a year now in our catalog. And I have a number of cards made with that, so I'd like to offer some challenges there. I'll talk about those at the end as well, to earn a number of those cards that I have. I'm just trying to get organized and share my cards with people that can use them. So hopefully you can help me do that. So I'm going to try and switch the camera down to my desk and tell you a couple things, and then we will craft together. So bear with me while I just saw that, Judy. Asparagus. I do like asparagus, and find that with just the two of us here, buying asparagus comes in such big quantities when I order it from the store, because I do my grocery ordering online. So I try to order that when I'm going to have family over or something, so they can help us eat it. But good to see you all. So thank you for joining me. And I'll see if I can somehow turn down the sound on that and see your comments. Great to see Tracy from Saskatchewan, Faye from Prince George, Pam from Calgary. Thank you. Welcome everyone. So let's get started. I have a host code happening. As most of you know, if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and would like to order from me, and your order is under $200, I'd love you to use the host code. I want to bring to your attention that the last chance is still happening for products we still have. I understand some of them are sold out already, so we'll just have to wait. As of next Tuesday, the 22nd, those of us who are demonstrators do get a chance to see the PDF of the new mini catalog. This one will be retiring at the end of June, but the new mini is going to have lots in it for holidays, for Christmas. So if you're interested in that and want to get a sneak peek, you can always join my team, and then you would have access to that kind of thing. So just so you're aware of that, I'm always welcoming new members and would love to chat with you if you would like to know more about that. So the mini catalog, lots of great things in there. Some of them are being carried forward, which is a good thing. And we also have currently the annual catalog. Love this paper on the front. Going to do some more things with it soon. I'm going to, I just did a card class where we use this die. Great fun. Lots of things to use. So tonight, I am going to share these cards. I'm going to, I really like the fact that Stampin' Up! Gives us samples in the catalog that we can recreate. And again, as a demonstrator, we do have access to, what are they called? I call them recipes, but they're a list of whatever has been used for these cards. And we're asked not to share that whole list with our customers, but if there's one particular that you want to know how it's made, I can find that information for you. So just message me. But this one, like I say, this set has been around. I really like it. It came with some green designer paper that was to die for, and of course that retired when the catalog retired. However, we have some choices yet. So I'm going to show you, we're going to make this card together, which would be what they call the quick and easy. That's what this clock signifies. Then I have made these two, and by following what Stampin' Up! Put in that recipe for making it. So this one was colored by stamping and using a blending pen. So it made the ink flow together just a little bit more. And this one was stamped. They're all stamped with the same stamp, you can see. But it was also colored with some of the watercolor pencils. And again, just gave it a different look. So I want to show you those. I'm not going to take the time to actually do all of those, but I'll show you what I did with them. So let's get started. Please, if you have questions or anything, by all means leave them. I don't guarantee that I'll be able to see them as we go. Sorry, reaching for missing pieces here. But I certainly will go back and read them afterwards and comment to you. So for that basic card, which I will see if you can see it there, just lay it there. You can see it's 4 squares, and those, I was going to try and remember, I do believe are 1.5 inch squares. And the card base is 8.5 by 5.5. And our standard card, it is done in Sahara sand. And then it has, no, that one doesn't have a layer. This is for the other one. And then it's just stamped and lay these on. So I'm going to stamp them. And in the catalog, it did say it used Bumblebee, and that's what I used on there, but it doesn't look quite the same as what my catalog shows. So, but I like the color. So I'm going to just use my, I did find when I was trying to recreate it, now it just said Forever Fern stamp set. I looked for how the leaves were placed, if you look at that page in the catalog. So this is the one. So I'm going to just stamp it. And I'm going to leave my inks open because when I show you the others, I want to use the same stamp in the same ink. So, and this one, I don't know what kind of leaves these are. Does anyone know? I don't think that's ever been talked about in any postings that I've seen as to what exact leaves are in this set. If you know, please leave the information. This one took me a while to figure this one out, but if you look at it, it is that. So again, I'm going to stamp it in that direction, and it's stamped off the edge, not stamped off. That's a different term, as you know. If this is your, oh, and I rocked that one. Oh dear. There is always another side. Let's try not to rock it this time. one of the joys of using paper that, there. So I have my squares there, and then Pear Pizzazz was what they used for the greeting. And see how straight, look at that. Not even where you can watch me to see how straight it is. Sorry about that. And I don't need that one again because I'm not coloring that one anymore, so I like to at least close my stamp pads before I put them away, because I'm notorious for laying a piece of paper somewhere it shouldn't. So then I just used dimensionals on each of them. And I'm sure as you watch and look at the other cards I made, and even as I was finishing them, we can all think of other things to do, but have you ever needed a card in a hurry and thought, I can make that. I can do this. Let's just put this here and here and here, and then you can run out the door with it, kind of thing. So when you go to place these, what I did was I started with my greeting, and hello Rhonda and Judy and Norma. And again, let me know where you're watching from, please. I'm trying to see if you can, that's a little better. So again, I would not suggest that you use a ruler to line these up, but what I did was just lay them down very lightly, and once I was happy that they were where they should be, then I pushed them to make sure they adhered. And I want just a little bit of space between those. And then when I go to place this one at the top, I want the same, if at all possible, I'm going to want the same distance this way. So part of my challenge to you tonight, just so you can think about it, is going to be to create a card. First of all, the first one is going to be using green. I'm not going to specify a specific green, but because the cards, I think that's looking good, so I am going to do what I say I never do, is put my hand on top of that, but I don't want them to move. And then I like to burnish it this way rather than this way. So there is your quick and easy card, isn't it? The more I look at it, the more I like it. So that's the first one. Now, for the second one, this one had a die cut at the back. Hey, Lori, nice to see you here. So I have a couple of those cut out of the same paper. It's got a layer of the same cardstock with nothing on it other than this. And then, see if I can show you, these are die cut out and put on with dimensionals. So a little bit more involved, but to put this on, you would, what I did, let me back up a little bit. I placed my layer on here, and then I placed this on, knowing that I could have it over the edge like this, and it wouldn't affect the card going in the envelope. So that's tip number one. So let's stamp. I've got some pieces here, and they're not cut to size or anything, but I just want to show you what happens when, and these would be cut out with the dies, because the dies, well, let me finish this first because otherwise. So what happens when you use a blender pen, I'm trying to look, if you can see, it actually is filling in the color. So it's giving it just a different, and that's why I'm finishing it before I show you the dies, because I want the ink to still be a little bit wet. The blender pen does have liquid in it, which would also cause the ink to move, but isn't that a neat, soft, more detailed kind of look? And when you go to clean it, it's just a matter of doing that. So I did that with each of them on the next card. And again, I'll hold it up here with the hopes that you can see what I'm seeing, which is the colors blending. And being more solid. So they look at the stamp set for a minute. It doesn't say that it's distinctive, but you can tell by looking at it that it has shading built into it, kind of thing. So this is just filling that in. So that's that one. And then our dear Bumblebee, a little bit easier again, but when you buy the blender pens, they come 3 to a pack, and they have 2 ends that you can use. And I haven't used mine. I mean, when I found this sample to case, I was quite excited because I haven't used mine for a long time, and I thought, you know, I've got everything here, I might as well use it. So that is just, again, filling it in and spreading the color around like that. Hello, Jenny from Chicago. Welcome. Good to see you again. So those are what I did for the second one. And then these are the dies that come with that set. So this is the big one that I cut for the background. And then this one, and this one are what will cut out these. So you pretty well have it all right here. This set does come as a bundle, so you get a 10% saving with that. And just show you before I go any further, this is the die set. So you have the different leaves, different sizes, great words, a great set to have. So when I finish that one, and again, I'm not positive if you can see, but you can, by the one I just did and that one, you can see that it is blended. Okay, so that was card number 2. And then their third one, just tuck those in there so I don't get them mixed up. Their third one was kind of over the top. So it ended up with a number of these die cuts on the back. And also, if I hold it like that, maybe you can see that in the background here, there is an embossing folder over that layer. And that one I used the bark embossing folder. That's one of our new ones. Just give you a bit more detail here in using the dark brown. You can see it really does look like bark. So I did that. Then I had a number of these, and before I put that layer on, I cut them, or I glued these on, and then I trimmed the edges so that it is a square edge around there. So for those, I'll just tackle this a little bit again. I used the colors they suggested, which were Early Espresso, Garden Green, and Cajun Craze. So these crayons, they're watercolor pencils. They come in 2 different sets. And again, when I came to this card, I thought, here I go again. I've got all of these and I haven't used them, but I won't color it all. You really don't need to watch me coloring, but it gives it a different look again. It's a soft pencil crayon. And like I say, it just gives it a different look for coloring. And if you like coloring, it's not difficult. The color lays on really well. You can see that. So I did that one. I did a green one. And the green, again, just following the colors they suggested. It is, what color am I using? I'm using just jade for the ink, but I'm using garden green for this. So you can combine your colors. There's nothing stopping you from coloring over top like that. And then for the bumblebee one, they suggested the, not Cajun Craze, they are named, if you wonder what I'm looking for here. And for that, I just did a bit of the spine of the leaf, I guess I would call it. So how many of you have the pencil crayons? Watercolor crayons, not pencil crayons. That's an old term. And do you use them? So it just, again, gives it a bit more definition. And then, again, put the four squares on as before. And especially on this one, you can see the darker pieces in there. So hopefully you've enjoyed that. Turn that over so it's not quite so glaring. And if you were making these, would you make just the one without anything, or would you step it up a bit? Let me know. While I find my cards I'm going to give away. Good for you, Faye. I should have known that. I know you like coloring, so that's a good choice. Good. And now that I've used them, I'm probably going to keep them on my desk and use them more often. So like I said, I would like to give away some of these cards. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, a number of them. So for this one, I'm going to give it to whoever posts below, in a comment below this video, a card made using green. I'll just show you the cards. This one is a fancy fold. This one is done with some gold and a embossing folder and some more of the designer paper. This is the designer paper that I said was just awesome when it came out last year. More of the stamped. This is stamped with the, can't remember the name of that, Pretty Peacock, I believe it is. It's one of the colors that's retired now. This one has got some vellum for the leaves, and this one has some vellum as well in another fancy fold. So those cards will go to one of you who posts a card with green in it. Okay? Then, because I used punches on one of these cards, I want you to post a card using a punch. Again, not very hard. And I want to share with you and just get them out there being used. So there was a punch for this, is what I used. So again, more of that paper. More paper, a different design again. This one using black for that piece. So you can see so many different choices in making with this stamp set. Just stamp here, and then you've got sentiment in the middle. These gold pieces came as part of a designer paper that came with that suite when it came out. And they just add just that bit of glimmer. You can see that. And this one, totally different color, does have some green in it. But look at it, it has the yellow where I had the Calypso Coral, I believe that one was. Yes. So yellow in it. So you can use it, same stamp again. But okay, so those will go to someone who posts a card using punches. And third, but not least, For this one, I would like you to post a card using a stamp set and dies. It doesn't have to be this particular one, but it would be nice because this one's still in the catalog and I can still use your samples for casing. This one is used just a bit different. This is crumb cake as opposed to the Sahara sand, and we did have some glimmer paper that was a rainbow, and that's what that's cut out of. This is the same card made, only cut out of the greens from that paper. And this one has more of the gold embellishment sheet, I guess I'll call it, from that set. And these all come with envelopes. So that's why just a little bit stepped up there, post a card using a stamp set and dies. So hopefully you'll take part in that and share it with your friends. Share this video with your friends. They can take part too. You don't have to be watching tonight to be taking part by any means, but I'd love to see what you guys are making and share it with the world. So a couple other things to share before I do the draw. I have recently made a couple of tags, and I thought they turned out really well. They are done with the Taylor tag dies that we now have and the ice cream sprinkles that came with that ice cream set that's in the mini catalog. This one is done with the other shape of the dies, and it's done with some sequins. So quite easy to do when you have the adhesive strips. So you just cut it out, make it. So that, just thought I would share that with you. So, any questions? I don't see any questions by any of you, but if you do have questions, be sure and let me know. And see if I can get to where I want to be in here. Last week, this is the card we made. And Karen, I see your comment. I love shaker tags. Well, guess what? Those are made for our team swap, so you'll be getting one. So, last week I had a number of people comment. Try and put this so you don't get too much glare from my lights. And I'm going to spin the wheel, and we'll see who wins that card. I can mail cards anywhere. So, Rhonda S., if you're watching, please, or if you're watching the replay or on YouTube, please send me your mailing address, and I will send that card to you. Love to share. So that will happen each week, except obviously for this coming week is going to be all the prizes I just talked about, as well as probably give away this one that we made tonight as well. So thank you for joining me. I'm glad to see you here on a Thursday evening. It does work better for me, and I think I'll continue with it, except I'll tell you right now that the one coming July 1st is on a Thursday. It's not going to happen. That one will be my Tuesday afternoon. So I will just keep posting so you know what's happening, and we'll connect, join. Again, thank you for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and keep in touch. Take care now.